I'm joined by a very special guest. I'm so excited to have Cynthia, the CEO of Alive Studios, joining me for tonight's webinar on boosting classroom engagement with 3D animals. So you know our love for Letters Alive and Alive Studios. So we're super excited to have Cynthia joining us tonight. So we're going to be doing this webinar together. We're going to talk to you all about augmented reality and how we use all of the technology and resources from Alive Studios in the classroom. And Cynthia is going to tell you her story and tell you all of the new and exciting things that are coming from Alive Studios. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get the slideshow going for you guys. We're going to jump right into tonight's webinar and get started. The first thing we'll talk about is if you have any technical issues.
Our housekeeping.
Let's see. Maybe we can get that to work. Sorry.
I love technology.
Right.
So we lost your slides?
The slides are not showing up. But
we'll do a song and a dance.
Figure this out. So, Cynthia, go ahead and tell your story.
Yeah, so I will tell my story. Yeah. So, hey, I'm so excited to be here. This is the first time we've done a joint, live webinar together. We're here at the International Early Childhood Show in Nashville, so we thought it'd be a great idea to do a webinar together. And yeah, my story. I have 4 kids. I birthed our 2 girls, but we adopted 2 boys in an orphanage in Latvia, and they're like 5 or 6. And when we brought them over, we were trying to teach them how to read, and it was a real struggle. We tried private school and public, and I thought, how hard can this be? I have an elementary ed degree. I'll just teach them with Hooked on Phonics or something. And we mostly cried. It was hard, and they had a pretty traumatic past, so I thought, what can we do to get our kids to read? And I was introduced years ago to augmented reality. And when I saw it, I thought, gosh, I wonder if we could make like zoo animals come alive. And that would maybe really engage kids. So that's how it started. And so it was a personal mission to help me with my boys. And then to come to find out our national challenge, you guys are aware, you're in this movement with us, that only 35% of our 4th graders, when we test them, are proficient in reading, and it never gets better. So Alive Studios is all about helping teachers, being there with you and getting our kids excited about reading and writing with all of our products. And we design it with teachers. And Greg, you're one of them, a big part of it, which we're going to talk about today.
I love that story, and I think it's so important that it's such a personal story.
Yeah.
Because teaching is so personal, and so I love to let people hear that story so that they know how this came about.
Yeah.
And so in a minute, I'll tell you the story of how we connected with Alive Studios. And look at that. Here we go. So thank you, Cynthia, for being here. Thank you to Alive Studios for being a part of this webinar and for sponsoring tonight's giveaways. So there are giveaways. However, you must be present in the entire webinar. Yeah. And then at the end of the webinar, the winners will be announced by email once the webinar ends. Yeah. So stay for the entire webinar. And then once the webinar ends, check your email in a few minutes and you'll have an email announcing the winners.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So if you're having any technical issues, close your browser windows, hit the refresh button, and hopefully that will fix it. If you have questions during tonight's webinar, you can submit those questions in the question box and we'll get those answered. All right. So what exactly is augmented reality? So you've heard Cynthia's story and heard her mention augmented reality. Hopefully you've seen me using augmented reality from Alive Studios in the classroom. So basically what augmented reality is, it's 3D without the glasses, is really the easiest way to explain it. So the way it works is something that I always make the connection to is Pokemon Go. And so if you played Pokemon Go, if you're familiar with it, that's augmented reality. And so that's what Alive Studios is bringing into the classroom. And I think you are one of the first companies to bring it into the classroom in such a big way.
Yeah.
So that it's a really cool technology. Kids love it. It's mind-blowing for adults. And so if it blows our minds, kids are going to love it. And so I was introduced to Alive Studios and Letters Alive, I think 4 years ago now.
4 years ago.
At a conference in Vegas. We were there in a booth, and they had a booth. And for 5 days, 4 or 5 days, all I heard was this elephant.
Yeah, Edie elephant.
It was the loudest elephant. And after like 4 days of hearing this elephant all day long, I was so annoyed by the elephant.
Yeah.
I just wanted the elephant to go away. So I'm like, I wonder what that is. So I went and wandered over and found Faith and Cynthia at their booth. And I was like, okay, what is this elephant and why is it so loud? And so they were nice enough to show me Edie and show me exactly what Letters Alive was and how it works. And I still remember when Faith put down the card for Sergio Seal and he popped up and started doing stuff. It was mind-blowing for me. As soon as I saw that, I knew I had to have this in my classroom.
Crazy.
Yeah, and so when that happened, I was like, okay, if that was my reaction, that kind of like just pure, like mind-blowing, I knew kids would go crazy for this. And I knew that when kids are that excited, that engagement, that's what helps them learn. And so I was like, okay, I need to get this in my classroom. So that's how I got to know Letters Alive and Alive Studios, and that's how we were able to bring it into our classroom. Simply because of an elephant that annoyed me for 5 days.
Edie elephant brought us together.
Yes, so thank you, Edie. So Alive Studios has several products available, several resources for your classroom. So they have Letters Alive, which is the main thing I use in my classroom. They have Math Alive. They have the My Letters Alive student journals, the My Math Alive student journals, and they have Rugs Alive. So Letters Alive is great for letter recognition, phonemic awareness, sounds, sentence building, word building, and even some comprehension and science. So, and we're going to talk in detail about that and how I use it and how it works and what's new and exciting with Letters Alive, because Letters Alive now includes ZooKeeper ABC Bootcamp, which we're super excited about. And we were just talking before we came on about how it's been a labor of love.
Yeah, it's been 2.5 years.
Yeah. So, and we'll get more into that in just a second. Math Alive has 86 essential math skills. So it's numbers, shapes. You can do patterns. You can do addition, subtraction. I love the 3D shapes part of Math Alive because the shapes come alive in 3D and you can move them and manipulate them. That's great for our kids when working with 3D shapes. They have the My Letters Alive journals and the My Math Alive journals, which are great for small groups in the classroom. They're great for family engagement. They're a great way to send the technology home. And they even have rugs that come alive. So now you can even get these beautiful rugs, and with an app, they will come alive and the animals will pop up in your classroom. It's amazing. So in tonight's webinar, we're going to highlight what I use from Alive Studios in my classroom and how I use it and the benefits that we're seeing. And then at the end of the webinar, we're going to show you where you can get these products to take engagement to a whole new level in your classroom as well. So the biggest product or resource that I use from Alive Studios is Letters Alive. So the new Letters Alive ZooKeeper edition is perfect for letters, uppercase and lowercase letters, beginning sounds, word building, sentence building. Letters Alive comes with 26 letter cards, so you get a card for each letter. You get sight word cards and you get word family cards. And so the way it works is it also comes with a document camera. So, and you load the software on your computer. The way it works is when you put one of those letter cards under the document camera, the animal pops to life in this amazing 3D technology. And so it's just right there on the screen. It's like there's an animal in your classroom. It's amazing. The kids love it. You can hear, so you can see the letter, you can hear the letter name, you hear the letter sounds. If it's a consonant, you hear the hard and soft consonant. For vowels, you can hear the long and short vowel sound. You can identify the animal. You can learn the animal's name. So then by doing that, you're also working on those beginning sounds, and the kids are able to identify beginning sounds while interacting with these amazing animals. So it's a very exciting, fun, engaging way to work on letters and sounds at the beginning of the year.
And you notice it's using like what, 6 different learning modalities,
Yes.
right? So that's, and we know about the brain science behind when you're using all these different modalities, how that goes into long-term retention.
Right. And by doing that, you're also meeting the needs of all of your students, because every student has that favored modality, that favorite learning strategy. And so with all 6 of these happening at once, you're engaging all of your students. So it's also a great way for differentiation. So now so you've heard us talk a lot about the student engagement, the excitement, the fun. So we're going to show you just what that looks like. And we're going to show you why we love Letters Alive and why my kids go crazy for these animals. Because I'm going to show you this video and you're going to see just exactly how kids react to the animals from Letters Alive. So there you go. So you could see like that reaction, like the squeals and the screaming, and you could see them physically like reacting to what was happening. So that's what it's all about. That engagement, that fun, that excitement. And so that's what you're wanting from this, is that the kid, that reaction, that mind-blowing reaction to those animals, and you could hear them laughing, and even the second time, like they knew that peacock was coming, and they still reacted that way.
Never get tired of it. And the other thing we talked about with brain science, because I'm a big Judy Willis fan, who's a neuroscientist and also a classroom teacher. She talks about the element of surprise. When there's that surprise, the kids, well, even for adults, when you get surprised, you remember it, and that's what's happening a lot with these animals popping out.
And one of the things that we talk about a lot at the Kindergarten Smorgasbord is that novelty, and how kids and 5-year-olds, and because your big focus is early childhood, is how their brains love novelty. And so this is something new and novel. And so even if you're doing ABC Boot Camp, so you've practiced the letters and the sounds by throwing this technology in, you're bringing in some of that new and something novel. And so you're just raising that engagement. Again, and so that's why we love it, and you that reaction is what you want. Oops. There we go. So we start our year with ABC Boot Camp, which is a component of our TKS Boot Camp curriculum, and that's where we introduce 1 letter and 1 sound a day for 26 days. So it's a research-based way to teach letters and sounds. It's the best practice. And so what we've done is for the past 4 years, as part of ABC Boot Camp, we've incorporated Letters Alive and that amazing augmented reality technology to reinforce the letters and sounds. And so now what we've done is we've partnered with Alive Studios, and the new Letters Alive ZooKeeper edition now includes ZooKeeper ABC Boot Camp. So we've taken the best of both worlds, and we've put them together into this one amazing product. And so,
and let me add something to that too, because it's been going on for 4 years, but for the first 2 years, I was really watching and kind of learning. I'd come sit in your class and just kind of amazed how he was using our technology and his ABC Boot Camp. And that's when we sat down, I think, another night in Vegas and go, what do you guys think about merging them together? And we really wanted to do it right. So that's why it's taken us forever. But I think we've got this thing perfected. And I'm just so excited about the marriage of both of them and this ABC Boot Camp. And we'll talk about some of the differences after we talk about the results. But
so we actually used the new ZooKeeper ABC Boot Camp in our class this year. And so it was a lot of fun for us to be doing the ZooKeeper themed version of ABC Boot Camp. And we had amazing results as always. The kids loved it. The engagement was amazing. So you've heard us talk a lot about ABC Boot Camp and Letters Alive and using them together and how awesome it is. Well, we all know that that's all good and fine until you look at the data.
Right.
And so here you go. This will show you just how effective ABC Boot Camp and Letters Alive are when used in the classroom. And so this is actually a 4-year study, a 4-year case study for my classroom. And so what we did was we wanted to know, like, how effective is it? How is it working? What are the numbers saying? And so we've taken the data from the last 4 years from my classroom, so using Letters Alive and ABC Boot Camp over the 4 years. And so these are the results. And so this is after 26 days. So we're not talking 9 weeks or we're not talking a semester or a year. This is 26 days. So we're looking at those first 26 days of school, and you can look at that amazing growth in the data.
And these kids are ELL.
Right.
So I was just amazed at the couple different classrooms I've been in with you that the children, they don't come in speaking English. And for this type of impact, I was amazed. And so that's why I was very excited to actually put this together for everybody to get a hold of, really globally, because we have countries that are interested in using it to teach their kids English as a second language. So Cynthia mentioned my students being ELL. 90 to 95% of my students are EL. Most of them will enter the classroom speaking little to no English. And then at the end of 26 days, you can see their uppercase and lowercase letter recognition almost doubles, and their beginning sound identification more than triples. And so that's the power of using ZooKeeper ABC Boot Camp and Letters Alive and ABC Boot Camp in your classroom. And there you go. That's what we need. We need those numbers, and there you go. You can see the proof is right there in the data. So now I'm going to let Cynthia talk to you about the new ZooKeeper ABC Boot Camp, what's included, and what's new and exciting about it. Yeah, so the big thing is, of course, we made it zoo themed, right? So everything's about our 26 animals. But some really cool differentiators is we have Mr. Greg's modeling videos. So we went and hired a videographer and just took raw video of him teaching. And so I think there's like 12, I'm trying to remember, for each segment, whether it's teaching them how to use the Zoo Baby badges or the circle charts or Letters Alive. You can watch in our software. You don't need the internet. It's in our software. You just click on it and watch Mr. Greg and his kids in action and how that was actually done. So that's one big difference. And of course, we've got the animal hats, and then we've added animal habitat hats, Zoo Baby letter books and the predictable or decodable readers, the zoo themed fashion show with, was it the Madagascar?
Yes,
yeah,
the Madagascar song.
12 zoo themed literacy centers. So we're a little nuts on the zoo theme, but that's our thing,
right?
So yeah, that's kind of the basics. And of course I think it's on the next slide, is the teacher guide.
Yeah. And so before we talk about that, is basically what's happening with this is you're getting everything that's included in ABC Boot Camp.
Right.
It's now just in a zoo theme.
Right.
So you're going to get the hats, and you're going to get 2 versions of the hats, the cut and color, and then the one that requires a little assembly. In ABC Boot Camp, you have dog tags. In ZooKeeper ABC Boot Camp, it's little Zoo Baby badges, which my kids loved.
Yeah.
So for every letter, they got a badge, and we made a necklace, and it had the little baby zoo animal. And so because we had seen the animals in Letters Alive in that 3D, they got their own little Zoo Baby badge to wear. So they loved it. So all of the magic and all of the things you love about ABC Boot Camp are included with the new ZooKeeper ABC Boot Camp. It's just now with this really cool zoo theme.
Yeah. So one of the things that you get in the kit is a 1 year at a glance teacher guide. And so it starts off with ABC Boot Camp. So you'll see we've got day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your slide there. So I sat with Greg and said, okay, step by step, what do you do successfully with your kids? And so we numbered them. Do this first, second, third. So that's what's in there. So you can look at your guide and go, all right, here's what I need to do what Greg does. Again, you can watch the modeling videos and kind of check it off. We don't care what letter you start with. We like it A through Z, but you can start with any letter. So we made it very flexible. And so it's everything step by step right there in this printed guide. So that was hopefully a little helpful.
Yeah, so it really does it's laid out every day. It's a great resource to help you stay on track. And so again, that's included with the ZooKeeper ABC Bootcamp. Yeah. And I do want to mention that ABC Bootcamp and the original 5 themes will always be available on TPT or on ourtksstore.com. All right, so now we're going to kind of show you how we use Letters Alive in the classroom during ABC Bootcamp. And so kind of the way it works is when we do ABC Bootcamp, we do the circle chart. And so that's where we're introducing the sound and the letter. The kids are coming up with the pictures and the words. So we create the circle chart. Then we use Letters Alive to practice and reinforce that sound and the letter. So we've done the circle chart, and I say, okay, now what sound did we learn today? So the kids are, again, they're telling me the sound. So it's that repetition, those exposures. And then I have them predict what animal it might be. And so predictions make the neurons in our brains excited, and they make those neurons fire, which raises engagement. And so that's the idea behind predicting. You're also giving that informal assessment to see if they can connect that sound to words. And so they predict some animals, and then we're like, okay, it could be a bear, it could be a butterfly, it could be a bee, or it could be a beaver. So they come up with these, and then it's kindergarten at the beginning of the year, so you're going to get all kinds of other things that aren't animals that start with that sound, and that's okay. And so the more they're engaged in those predictions, the more excited they're getting, and it's kind of building up for them. And so then after they make the predictions, I'm like, okay, here we go. And I drop that letter card under the document camera, and boom, that 3D animal pops up. The kids squeal and they laugh and they giggle. And so then we learn the name of the animal. We look at the uppercase letter, the lowercase letter, we hear the sound. And so I just constantly reviewing and repeating the sound and the letter. And now we're attaching it to this amazing 3D animal. All right, so we'll show you another video of what this looks like in the classroom, so you can kind of get an idea of what it sounds like, what it looks like, and how the kids are responding. All said it was what animal? Jaguar. What animal did you think? Jaguar. Are you ready? Yes. What sound? Jaguar. Wow. Not a cheetah. Jaguar. What is it? Jaguar. Everybody say jaguar. Jaguar. What sound? Tiger. What sound? Tiger. Say jaguar. Jaguar. What sound? So there you go. So you could hear that constant repetition, and you could hear them practicing the letter, the sound, and you saw those reactions. You saw that the squealing, the giggles, and so that's what we love about it.
Yeah, did we lose our slides?
Yeah, they're not, for some reason the slides are not wanting to cooperate. So every time we come back, we'll have to start the slides again. That's fine. But again, it's those predictions. You heard them predicting the animals, and I know they all kind of talked at once, but there was like a jaguar, a jellyfish, they're predicting, and then you heard them say cheetah. Yeah. And so that's a real life classroom, and so they looked at the animal and they said cheetah, and as soon as we said no, what sound, and they're like they're like, oh, jaguar. So they were able to make those connections. That they're learning. Awesome. And they're excited about it. And again, it's those repetitions over and over again that's so important for our kids to learn at the beginning of the year. So another really cool part of Letters Alive is the sentence building feature. And so this is one of my favorites because it really blows the kids away when you show them what happens. So after we meet our animal, we practice the sound, we know the letter, then you can use the included word cards to build sentences. And we're using pre-K and K adult sight words. Okay, so there 97 of them. Yeah, so 97 sight words, and so it's the pre-K and kindergarten adult sight words. Now, because it's augmented reality, you're not just building sentences. Mm-hmm. What happens is when you build the sentence, because it's augmented reality, the animal comes to life and does exactly what the sentence says. Yeah. So when you say the alligator can walk, the alligator walks. Like Amos will start walking across the screen. It's amazing. And so the software will actually read the sentence to you. So it'll read it. So you're hearing the sentence. You can work on uppercase letters, ending punctuation, fluency. You can talk about how many words are in the sentence. The kids can hear the sentence, and then they can read the sentence. So even at the beginning of the year, within 26 days, you're already building some of that comprehension, building some of those early reading skills. And so when you build a sentence that says, the wolf can run, the wolf will actually run. Now, here's the cool thing, and this is where you can pull in some of that science, is if you say the wolf can fly, he will shake his head no. So wolves can't fly, and so I will actually, again, use prediction. And so I'll say, okay, can a wolf run? And the kids will say yes or no. We build the sentence, and he'll actually do it. And so I'm like, can a wolf fly? And they'll say yes or no. We drop the card, and he says, no, he can't fly. And so it's a great way to...
sciences.
You're pulling in science. 26 days, you're getting letters and sounds and sentences and science. And so you're building that reading fluency. And so what happens is after a few days, the kids can start reading those sentences because they're kind of predictable. You know, the wolf can run, the wolf can walk, the wolf can eat. And so you very early on in the year, you're building some
and you notice the
amazing
confidence
fluency
with the kids, right? They're
Absolutely.
starting to be like, Mom, I've been to school, a few days, and I can read the wolf can run. I read a sentence.
Yeah.
So I've heard you say, look, guys, you read a sentence.
Absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit more about that after this video. But now we're going to show you the video of the sentence building feature from Letters Alive. And you'll see what I mean by the animals coming to life, and you'll see the kids reacting.
Run.
Yeah. The wolf can run.
What's he doing?
Running.
Read the sentence.
The wolf can run.
So there you go. So you could see the wolf running on the screen. And then what's really cool is I love that when the kids will do it.
Yeah.
And so again, you're bringing in some of that
exercise,
kinesthetic,
yeah.
getting them moving. And you mentioned the confidence, and that's so huge for our kids, is if we want them to read and write, they have to feel like a reader and a writer.
Yes.
And so here we are in those first 26 days of school, and they're going home and saying, Mom, Dad, I read a sentence today. And that's such a huge...
It is very huge.
They have to have that confidence. And so not only they're having fun while doing it. And, at the beginning of the year, that fun and excitement is so key to engaging them and keeping them, focused for more than 2 minutes. And so it's amazing watching them. They're able to just sit there and engage with these.
Well, what about behavior management? Because I've heard it's when people use the technology and everything that the kids are on task. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're so focused, and they're so excited too, and they're they want to know what animal's coming. You've built it up, and especially after a few days, once they kind of understand how it works and they know these animals are coming, then they really
anticipation.
Anticipation. And like sometimes if they get too overly excited, I have to be like, the animal won't come if we're not quiet, and they're just like they're ready because they want to know what animal it is. So that's the sentence building feature. They also have in Letters Alive, they have a word building feature, which is really cool. And it's been updated recently.
Yes, that's right. In ZooKeeper now you can build 1,200 words.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So what happens in our classroom is after we finish ABC Boot Camp, then we move into Word Family Boot Camp, which is also a component of our TKS Boot Camp. And so this is when we take those letter sounds that we learned in ABC Boot Camp, and this is when we apply them to building and reading words. And so you're starting to take those skills now, and you're putting them together to make readers and writers. So as Cynthia said, you can build over 1,200 words with their letter cards, their blends cards, digraph cards, and word family cards. And so the way it works is you simply place the letter cards on the mat. The software is going to say the sound. So if you put C-A-T, it's going to say k-at. And then I have the kids do it. The kids would say k-at. And then what happens is when you take the cards and you physically slide them together, the software pulls the letters together into a word. So it says k-at. And you slide the cards together and it says cat.
Right.
And so it's modeling for the kids that skill, which is important because it's kind of that gradual release model. And so then I have the kids do it. And so they have that confidence because they've heard it, they've seen it, and now they can do it themselves. And so you can have the kids do it. You can do it whole group. We do it individually. I have the kids come up and take turns building the words. And then later in the year, once the kids are familiar with the software, it actually becomes a center in our classroom. And so the kids are using picture cards and they're building those words using the software.
Yeah,
and so it can be whole group, it can be small group, it can be a center. So we're going to show you a video. This is a brand new video of the newest upgrade to the word building software in Letters Alive. You can do sun. Everybody tell me the sounds in sun. All right, let's see if Z can find the 3 sounds in sun. Remember, you have some of the top 2. There you go. When you find all 3, bring them to me. All right. All right, let's see if she's right. Push them together.
Sun.
All right, you do it. Very good. So there you go. So you could see they put them down. You could hear the sounds. The letters are there. And then you saw her slide the cards together, and then the word popped up. And so I'll let you talk a little bit about what you guys have changed and kind of how you tweak that a little bit.
Yeah, so but just like Greg said, you can build these phonetically. But in our new lesson plans, there's actually several pages because it's 1,200 words, and we've color-coded it so you can see which words you can build phonetically, and there's words that the kids can build that it's not phonics. So now we've color-coded that so they can start learning. Some words you can't build that way. And so the kids can build them. There's worksheets or activity recording sheets that go along with it that will give you word clues, kind of what Greg is already using in his building. What's it called? Word family building.
Word family boot camp.
I get it all. I'm combining my words with his words. So anyway, so that's the building words, and that's how you use it, and it's pretty simple. Yeah,
and so you can do, like you saw us doing, just CVC words,
right?
But you can also do blends and word families. So
an ing
so you can do
thing.
So you can do the onset and the rhyme, and so you can do, we could have done b and then the at word family. So you could do that as well. So there's lots of different options there for the word building. And also, I don't know if you heard it ding. Yeah. So when you slide the cards together, it dings, and so the kids really like that.
It's kind of addicting.
Yeah,
ding,
it is. Ding.
Ding.
Yeah, and so the way it works in our classroom, what I have the kids doing is we put the cards down, and so it was like and then I had them tell me the word, and so they said sun. Then we slid them together, and then they were like, "Yeah, we got it right." So again, kind of that confidence boosting, that excitement. So that's the word building feature. So now we're going to move from Letters Alive, and we're going to talk about the My Letters Alive student journals. So these are one of the newer products from Alive Studios. And so this is a good way to take that augmented reality technology and kind of bridge that gap between school and home. And so the My Letters Alive journals are great for letters and sounds. They're great for family engagement. So the journals feature a 2-page spread for each letter. So in those pages, you can trace the letters, you can write the letters, you can color the animal, you can read a sentence about the animal, and then there are some activities for the kids to work on with the beginning sound. So they might be drawing a picture, circling pictures that start with that sound. So some little different activities. Again, just more practice, more repetition, exposures to those letters and sounds. And of course, because it's from Alive Studios, there is augmented reality built into the journals. So the way it works is you download an app, and then there's a letter bug on the journal, on the page. You scan that. The animal comes to life on your tablet, so it's in 3D, and as you move your device, your tablet or your phone around, the animal is in your environment. So if you're doing it in your classroom, boom, it looks like Gertie Giraffe is hanging out in your classroom, or Katie Kangaroo is jumping on the trampoline in your classroom. And so they scan the letter bug, the animal pops up there. You can see Katie jumping on our trampoline. Gertie Giraffe hangs out in the classroom a lot. The kids love Gertie. And so if you look at those pictures there and just look at that reaction on Jenny Lee's face, like that, again, that's what we want, that engagement, that excitement. And so you can even take pictures within the app. So once the animal is there, the kids can pose with the animals. So you can imagine getting them each to pose with the animal. You print them off and you've got a set of flashcards. And so, it could be a great, if you're in the hallway, you can show them those animals and they can identify the sound. You can also switch from the animal to the letter. And so you can see there in the picture the little girl holding up the V. And so what we do with this at the beginning of the year is every kid holds up their hand and we take a picture of them holding the first letter of their name.
Cool. Yes.
And then we make a bulletin board out of that. And so it's just, again, a fun way to tie those letters to their name, but they get to do it with this really cool technology. And they have a picture of themselves holding up a giant letter, which they love. And so again, you can't beat the engagement and it's that pure joy and excitement of them seeing those animals in their classroom. And I think it takes it to a different level for them because they see them on the screen and then all of a sudden they're hanging out in their classroom. Yeah.
And another little thing, I've seen teachers, and I think you probably do too, like when the letter comes up, they can go around the room and take pictures of things that start with that letter, and you can look in the photo gallery to see how they did.
Yeah, so it'd be a great informal assessment. That's a really cool idea. So we're going to show you this video now of the Letters Alive journal, and it's a video of us kind of walking you through what the journals include and what they look like and how they work. Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord, and we're back again to talk about these new Letters Alive journals from our friends at Alive Studios. We've been talking about these all week, and we've been doing giveaways all week, so we're going to be doing another giveaway, so stay tuned. So tonight we wanted to show you a couple of different things about the journals, but I will go through it again very quickly. The way it works, it comes with some fun stickers. We all know how much kids love stickers. The way it works is you go to this website, journalsalive.com, and you download a free app. So there's the app on my iPad. You open the app, and it's going to ask you, do you have one of our journals? Yes. We have My Letters Alive journal.
Point your device at the letter scan bug on any of the 26 animal pages and watch that animal come alive. Then touch the buttons that will appear on your screen to learn more about each animal and letter.
Right. So if you look at the journal, it looks just like a regular journal, maybe like a little coloring book. And so you heard the app say scan the letter bug. So that's the letter bug right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the app with the app open, and you're going to scan the bug. And there's Larry, the lion. So you see him come alive in 3D using augmented reality technology. So now Larry's running through our house. All right. And so what you can do to support your EL students and early childhood students as they're learning to read is in the book right here, there's a 3-word sentence that says, "See Larry run." And so what Larry's doing on the screen is what the sentence reads. So you can provide that scaffolding and that support for your students as they're learning to read. And then you can do the letters.
L.
You hear the letter name,
E.
hear the sound,
L.
and they can trace the letter. So something we've been showing you this week is that you can also take pictures with the app. So with the animal, you can take a picture of the kids with the animal. But something else you can do is you can also take a photograph. Take a picture of me. And I can see it then. Let's see if we can do this. Hold this hand out for me. Like this, like you're going to hold it. All right. So we took a picture. And so there's the Mr. holding the letter L. So you can take a picture of your kids holding their favorite letter, or what I think would be really cool is at the beginning of the year when we're working on names, is you could take a picture of each kid holding the first letter of their name. So that gives you an idea of what the My Letters Alive journals look like. Anything else you want to add about those?
No, I think that's it. There's a tracing and there's a lot to it.
Yeah, and they're really cool. The kids love them. We use them in our classroom in small groups, and so it's a way that we've used them to differentiate and add in some extra support. And
I'm sorry. Yeah, one thing I was going to add is the app is free,
right?
And it's just the journals are like $10, and they're 20 packs is even cheaper. But it's real economical way to do it.
Yeah, and so it's a great, if you're curious about the augmented reality, it's a great way to kind of bring it into your classroom on a smaller scale and check it out. They also now have the My Math Alive student journals. Yeah. So they work the same way. You download the app, you scan the bug. But what's different about the math journals is that you're going to practice counting. Mm-hmm. And it's really good for one-to-one correspondence because you're actually feeding the animal, which is great. The kids love that. We've played with them in our classroom a little bit, and the kids love feeding the animals. I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about these because they are fairly new.
So you've got 20 animals out of our 26 featured in Math Live, and it is about feeding the animal. And the kids want to take care of the animals because they've met them, they've befriended them. And you learn how to, feed them just the right amount, not too much, too little, right? So they're self-correcting. You're also learning about 2D shapes or 3D shapes that are also in our journals. So it's a different feeding experience because sometimes you'll notice with the horse, there's a 10-frame feeding box, So we got pretty creative with that. So it's just a great way to learn your numbers and shapes. In a center, and when I call it a double life with both the journals, so you can use it in the classroom for center time, and when you're done, you could send it home for the summer, have the free app with the parents, and use it again. Right.
Yeah, and they're great. Like I said, the kids love them. I gave them to my kids as Christmas presents a couple of years ago, and the families loved it. Yeah, because it's an easy way to support that learning at home as well. Yeah. The app is free. They all have their phones or their tablets. And so it's a great way to bring that.
And the parents think it's cool too. So they're more apt to want to be involved.
Right. And it's simple. And so it's not something that's scary and overwhelming. So one of the new, I think this is your newest.
It was right before our ZooKeeper, which is new.
Alive Studios now has rugs, and yes, they come alive. These are not just a classroom rug. These are rugs with technology built in that allows the animals to come to life on the carpet. So you can see there on the screen, the rugs come in various sizes, and they feature all 26 animals. They feature the letters. And so we were actually blessed to be the first classroom to get one of these rugs. And if I understand it right, it's the very first.
It was the first one. I picked it up from the mill and drove it. Yeah, so you were one of our guinea pigs, but it went fantastic.
Yeah, so this is like that rug you see there is in my classroom, and that's the original. Like I feel like it should
it would probably don't ever get rid of it. Yeah, it's just be a collector.
Yeah, so it's the original.
Issue 1.
Like you said, like hot off of the carpet maker into the car and into my classroom, and was unrolled into the classroom. And so you can see there we have the oval. And what I want to point out before we get into the technology piece of these is that they're beautiful rugs. They're high quality rugs. We've had it now, 3 years?
Yeah.
So it still looks new.
Yeah.
It has held up very well. They're Scotch guarded.
Yeah.
So that they resist stains. We clean ours, over the summer and at Christmas break. Like I said, they're not only beautiful, but they're high quality. Yeah. They're durable. And because when I first saw that green, I was like, "Ooh, that's not going to be good." But if you looked at our carpet now, it looks almost brand new. And so they're high quality. The kids love them. Everybody that comes into our room comments on the carpets. And what's fascinating is how long it takes the kids to figure out
that they're going to come alive.
And that the animals on the rug are the animals from letters alive.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think this year we were like 17 days in, and like they were standing there and I'm like, okay, what do you think the animal is? And somebody was like, oh, it's like, so it takes, and I don't tell them, like, I want them to make that connection.
Right.
So it's funny to see them figure that out. Now, like, they'll stand on the animal and talk about them. So it's really cool to have that animal physically there in the classroom. Another thing that you can do is you can scan. You use the app, you scan the logo that's located there in the middle of the rug, and it will play the Zoo Crew alphabet song.
Yes.
Which I know you guys are so proud of. You love it. It's so much fun. The kids go crazy. And so, yeah, so like what other carpet can you get that you can scan and animals come alive and it plays a music video?
Yeah.
Right?
Not too many.
Yeah. So, and that's the amazing magic of this carpet is that it has that augmented reality piece. And so it's not just an awesome carpet, but it does these really cool things.
It's STEM too, because you're going to see that you've got to match one of the 7 habitats.
Right.
That you'll match it with the right animal, and I think you'll see a video.
Yeah.
And that's how the animal comes alive.
Yeah. So we're going to show you a couple of videos now of the rugs and how they work and what they look like in the classroom. So we just unrolled our new carpet from our friends at Alive Studios, and it features all of the animals from their Letters Alive Plus software, but it also does something really cool. So you download the free Journals Alive app from Alive Studios, and you simply scan the carpet and watch what happens.
Hello, ZooKeepers. Welcome to our zoo. Now let me tell you, you've never seen animals like these before. We call them the Zoo Crew. And I'm going to introduce you to them one by one in alphabetical order. You guys ready to meet them? Okay. Well, now pay close attention. I'm going to go kind of fast. That's because I want you to dance while you're listening. Let's go. Amos the alligator loves to swim, but I wouldn't try to get too close to him. His teeth are so big and he always looks mad. Just kidding. That's a smile. He's not so bad. Brody Bear. He always wants a hug. Such a furry guy filled with lots of love. Celine Cow. She's a happy one. She'll sing you a song if you ask.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so I was telling Cynthia yesterday that I had a former student who came into my room yesterday.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in our class when the song came out, but he's watched the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so he's memorized that. So there you can.
That's quite a feat.
Yeah. So there you can see a close up of what the rugs look like, and you can hear the music video. Now we're going to show you what happens if you want the animals to come alive. And so what happens is you can print off. You get the rug. You print off these habitat cards. Mm-hmm. And I think there's 7 of them, right?
7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so the kids have to match the habitat card to the animal. Mm-hmm. And so you're getting that science piece again,
right.
Like putting the animal in the habitat. And then when you scan the animal on the habitat card, the animal pops up on your device. And so it looks like Edie the elephant is literally standing on your carpet in your classroom. And so the technology allows you to move around the animal.
Yes.
So once the animal is there, you can actually take your device and walk around and go 360 degrees.
Yeah, it's like he's standing in the middle of your carpet.
Right.
So you can see under, over.
And the kids can go stand beside the animal and they can pose with it. So
take pictures.
Yeah, they take pictures, and so they get to pull up their favorite animal. But it's so cool. So we're going to show you a couple of videos of the kids scanning the the cards, and you see the animals popping up on the carpet.
I do that all the time in my mountain. I jump and then I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, that'll be good. William.
Yes. I'm gonna almost.
No. Almost do the split.
I can
You have
do.
to watch out for things.
I can really do this split. Almost. I'm doing the split.
You are doing it.
Oh, Will, go.
These are the split.
What?
Okay,
go a little turn.
So you can see there he scanned the habitat card, the rooster pops up, and then you saw the other little guy run over there and he was trying to pet the rooster. And so, and that's another great way is that you get some good cooperative learning because they're like, no, you have to go this way. No, go that way. Like, no, do it here.
Social emotional, right? You're taking turns, giving directions. You're talking to each other. Yeah, that's why we have them taking pictures, but I don't have them do selfies because I want them to talk to their friends, to their classmates, right?
Right.
That's important.
Yeah, building those communication skills,
Yes.
which is so important for especially our EL students.
Yeah.
Where do elephants live? All right, then we're going to scan it, and we're going to see Edie Elephant. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Remember, stay still so I can show you Edie.
Perfect. You can find elephants in jungles.
There's
Elephant.
Edie, my favorite. And so there you can see, you saw us put the habitat card down. You heard me say, where do elephants live? So we're identifying those habitats. Then you saw us scan Edie, and there was Edie, and then the kids could interact with Edie. Anything else you want to add about the rugs?
No, I think you did.
Yeah.
It was
And I think
great.
you mentioned they could snap pictures.
Yes.
And so they can pose with their favorite animal and get really cool pictures. And again, you can make a cool
Yeah.
display. They could write about them. And that's
Yes.
something I've done is have them, they take a picture with their favorite animal, and then they write about why that's their favorite animal.
That's great.
And so you can do a
Story time.
Right, story time. Great when like at conferences or at open house, the kids come with their families. And this happens every year when we have open house and parent conference. The kids want to show their families what these pieces
Yeah.
of technology will do. And it's fun to watch
Yeah.
the kids get up there and like
Show
drop those
off.
cards and like
Yeah.
pull out that iPad and scan the carpet. So you can do a lot with these. It's amazing technology. It really does boost your results. It's engaging. It's fun. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, we try to, my heart and passion, again, is to bring this great learning experience in for the teachers and the kids. And we try to, Disney's an inspiration for me. So I'm trying to, what we call Classrooms Alive, which is what you have. It's all these different components that we've shown and shared with everybody today. That's Classrooms Alive. And but you can get it in different individual pieces and parts, but that's kind of the ultimate full experience if you can do it.
So you've seen how we use all of these really cool, effective, and I think that's important. Not only is it really cool, fun technology,
Yeah.
but it works.
Yes.
It's impacting our classroom. It's making a huge difference. It's boosting our results. It's boosting
Yes.
engagement. So hopefully your mind is as blown as mine was back when I met Edie for the first time. And so now you're wanting to know, how do we get this?
Yeah.
So you can check out Classrooms Alive and Alive Studios using the link provided. When ordering, you want to use the code SMORGYK or SMORGYPK. And if you make a purchase of $159 and you use those codes, you'll get a free journal. And so if you want a kindergarten journal, you would use the SMORGYK. If you want a pre-K journal, you would use the SMORGYPK. And so you can, again, you can head over to their website. You can see the link there on the screen. We'll also send you the link in an email, and you can check out all they have to offer. You can contact Alive Studios.
Yeah, you can go to livestudiozoo.com. It's pretty easy to remember.
And they can give you a quote. And another great funding source is Donors Choose.
Right.
And so that's I know a lot of teachers
Yes.
are using Donors Choose to get these resources into their classroom. So that's how you can get all of these cool things. And I know you want to talk a little bit about the new ZooKeeper edition. So we get a lot of questions about how do we get our hands on ZooKeeper ABC Bootcamp.
Yeah.
Well, ZooKeeper ABC Bootcamp is only available from Alive Studios as part of Letters Alive.
Right.
So
So we're learning a lot.
Or Learning Alive. So
Right.
I'll let you talk a little bit about that and how
Sure.
to get that.
So a lot of you might already be Letters Alive or Learning Alive users, and that's great. If you want to upgrade to the new ZooKeeper edition to be able to get ZooKeeper ABC Bootcamp or Animal a Week or all these more building words and sentences, it's only $295 to upgrade. Now, if you've got a really, really old Letters Alive, you can just email us and we can give you a special quote. But yeah, it's only $295 to upgrade to that.
That's if you already have it.
If you already have it. Now, if they're a brand new user and you want to get Letters Alive, it's $12.95. And if you want letters and math, and we didn't get to really talk about the Math Alive because there's so much, but you can go to our website and see it. That's $17.95. But the cool thing is there's no subscription. It's a one-time investment into your classroom, and you can use it year after year after year. And so that's, I think, pretty much it in a
Yeah,
nutshell.
and so the new ZooKeeper edition is out now.
It's shipping next week.
Yeah, so it's
There's
it's
a couple
out
more
now.
little
Yep.
things we had to do to it, because
So-
we've got to make it perfect. But oh my gosh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And we're gonna ship it next week.
Yeah, so and of course you can always head over to the Alive Studios website and check out all of their great products.
Yeah.
And again, you can contact them for a quote.
Yeah.
You can use Donors Choose to get funding, and you can also check out our website and Facebook. We have lots of videos and stuff of us using the products. In the
Yeah, and we
classroom.
have on our website. There's also more funding options too. So if Donors Choose is not right for them, there's a whole page on all the different ways they can get different grants. And
Awesome.
yeah, so it's always nice.
All right, so thank you. First, I want to say thank you to Cynthia for joining us for tonight's webinar.
Yeah, thanks
and
for having me.
and sharing her story and of where Letters Alive came from. And thank you for the giveaways.
Yes, that's right. Stay tuned. That's going to be emailed out here shortly.
Yes.
The winners.
So again, thank you to everyone for joining us for tonight's webinar on how to use augmented reality in your classroom and how Letters Alive and Alive Studios and their amazing 3D animals can boost learning and engagement in your classroom. We hope that you found tonight useful, and hopefully you're now ready to bring some augmented reality into your classroom. And so again, you can head over to the Alive Studios website to check out all of their great products and resources, get a quote, get some funding ideas, and grab your augmented reality tools for your classroom. And remember to use the code SMORGYK and SMORGYPK to get your free journal.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you for all the awesome work you guys do, all the teachers. And Greg, thank you so much for what you do, and love partnering with you guys and working with everybody.
All right, and so stay tuned. You'll be getting an email shortly with tonight's winners for the giveaways, and so that will be coming to you in just a few minutes. All right, thank you guys.
Right.
Bye.
See ya.